Welcome to our What's Next Softr Goes Full Stack event. It's our annual review event, and we're really excited to have you all here. When we're going to wait a couple minutes for everyone to come in, feel free to let us know where you're calling in from, what part of the world. We're really excited to have you all here. We have a packed presentation. We're going to be going over some of the stuff that we accomplished in 2024 and giving you sneak peeks to 2025. And again, really excited to have you here. While we're waiting for some people to come in, I have a couple of polls that I want to hand out to you guys. And the first poll is, what is your favorite block in Softr? Now, I can only list a couple blocks here, so I know that there's a lot of them, but out of those 4 blocks, what do you think is your favorite block in Softr? We have people coming in from Berlin, France, Colombia, Washington, D.C., Germany, Massachusetts, Netherlands, Florida. Wonderful. It's so great to see you all here. Boris from my hometown, Rochester, New York. We got a local here. Brazil, Amsterdam. Wonderful. It's a packed house. Really excited for all of you to be here. We have both of our founders in the audience, Miriam and Artur. We have our head of product, Austin, here. And then we have some staff in the background to help with AMAs at the end. Garbage plates, exactly. So getting into the agenda for this meeting today, this event, we're going to talk about 2024. It was a really big year for us, probably our biggest yet. We talk about some of the things we accomplished, the features we launched, and then we're going to get sneak peeks into 2025, what we're focusing on for our product, talk about some tables, some workflows, and some other things. And then we're going to end it with an AMA where all of you can ask questions, and we will do our best to answer and give everything we got. So you guys ready to get started? Awesome. So Miriam, why don't you come on stage and the show is yours.
Hey everyone, can everyone hear me? I think I'm on stage. Okay, awesome. Great. Welcome everyone to this event. This is one of a kind event in a year. We do this once a year to do a recap of what happened in the past year, how Softr evolved product-wise, company-wise, and what's waiting in 2025 in the next year. So really excited to be here. Thanks everyone joining. There is quite many people in the room. And yeah, really excited to dive in. So where did we start? So when we launched Softr in about 4 years ago in 2020, which probably many of you remember, was a very basic website builder, our bare minimum MVP. We had really a simple vision to empower anyone to create software without code. And when we look back 4 years later, we have accomplished quite a lot. And we have now more than 700,000 users on the platform, building all kinds of platforms, and especially very heavily focused on custom portals and internal tools. And tons of businesses, companies are automating their businesses and internal processes with Softr currently. However, when you look back at all of the bigger market and how many businesses exist in the world, big portion of customers and big portion of the businesses are still heavily relying on spreadsheets and email to manage their processes internally and external client and customer communication. So they are still using spreadsheets and email workflows. One of the interesting findings over the past year as well, talking to more and more customers as we are evolving as a platform, going beyond the niche group of people that are actively using no-code tools and looking for solutions, we realize the market is much, much bigger than we actually originally imagined. There is bigger portion of companies actually are still relying on spreadsheets and email workflows, especially in more traditional industries like manufacturing, real estate, insurance. And all of this, obviously, using all those tools is not really scalable. It's fragmented and siloed, and it's very prone to error, mistakes, and of course not secure. You cannot, it's inherently spreadsheets and emails are not secure. And other kind of alternatives companies are using as off-the-shelf solutions to solve specific problem, go deeper into that solution. However, with that, again, in the last 10 years, there has been huge kind of progress towards customization, moving towards more customizable tools, because a lot of the vertical solutions also lack customizability and flexibility. And in today's age, every company has completely unique workflows, and they are just not able to adapt their workflows to the tools, and they have to adapt to the tools, which is not very ideal. Of course, also all of these tools are also expensive at the same time, but companies buy them without really needing all the features. They just have to pay for all of those. And of course, it's overload of all of these vertical solutions all coupled together. They also don't work together. So the companies end up with a lot of tons of tools that they just most of the time don't use. And on the other spectrum, there's even lots of companies using very legacy systems where there is even built-in, so custom code built solutions, legacy systems, which are very expensive to maintain. There is most of the time the ones that built already aren't there, and it's very difficult to iterate because companies move forward. They want to digitize. They want to turn into automate a lot of the workflows to stay competitive, and this is just impossible with legacy systems. So all in all, no-code is really still a tiny market, and all of us in the no-code category, and especially now with AI helping even further, we are building a new market category. So education and ease of use of our platform is really key to get no-code adopted. So that's where Softr really shines, and that's what we have been trying to achieve in the past years, empowering billions of knowledge workers to create software without code. In order to do that, there is a handful of things we have to accomplish and do really well, and that's our goal. So in 2024, very quick recap, and then I'll hand over for more specific details for Austin to share. But all in all, we have now 14 plus native data sources plus REST API, which basically opens up endless possibilities to connect to any data sources. We are quite tiny and lean team. We like to stay lean, and we are only 45 employees, very heavily focused on growing and building and growing the product. We have grown in the past year to 700K users on the platform that are actively building, that consists of individuals and also operators within companies. One of the bigger functionalities we launched last year, conditional forms. So Austin will talk a bit more on that, which is almost its own product, as you can consider. 20 plus templates, new templates to enhance a lot of the use cases and help builders even more to kickstart their application building from existing templates. We have just launched about 2 weeks ago our new refreshed brand, which now matches our identity much, much better. We haven't really had much updates over the last 2 years, and this was really time to kind of reflect how much Softr has evolved, where Softr has now grown to, and what our brand represents, which is ease of use, simplicity, also fun to build software. We also have passed and have been certified as SOC 2 Type 2 are compliant, which we also promised and talked about in the last year. And we have 40 plus new big features and improvements done over the past year. So I'm going to hand over to Austin. Please take it over, and who will share also a bit more details about product functionality and the product evolution.
Hey everyone, can you guys hear me okay? Yes, so Miriam, will you be controlling the slides for me, I guess? Right, so I'm gonna go next. So hey everyone, I'm Austin. So I'm gonna be recapping a little bit of just what we shipped last year. And obviously these are only gonna be the more notable one because we ship a lot of things. I guess one of the biggest one is we've now had like 14 data sources, including REST API, like Miriam just mentioned. This is such a big improvement because we start out with Airtable only, and I think like maybe until 1-2 years ago, a lot of people still think we're kind of like affiliated, well, we're just built on top of Airtable only. But now we've extending to so many different data sources, and we believe that this is going to be the most powerful when you combine different data sources together. And then in just a few minutes, Artur is also going to talk about how we will be working toward our own data source as well, but I'll hold up to that. And we also launched conditional form, like form builder itself is such a big product already. There's so many big players out there, but we believe it is really part of every application's workflow. Think about creating data. This is probably our biggest launch earlier in the year, up until now. And this is we've got a lot of great feedback, and we will continue to improve it and bring it to update record as well. I know a lot of you have been requesting this. We that's definitely on our radar. And the next big one is something that I'm sure all of you are very excited about, is all the new UI blocks. We revamped pretty much, I would say probably right now, maybe 60 to 70% of our dynamic blocks to more modern looking, and then using the same design system under the hood, so they can be themed more in a more holistic way. It's much easier. I'm sure a lot of you agree that to style your application to make them look like something you can buy off the shelf, designed by professional designers. We still have a long way to go in terms of customization, layout, but I can guarantee that they will be coming in the next couple months. You will be able to do a lot more with these blocks. We don't just ship and forget about it. All of these grid lists is you're going to see a lot more improvements coming. Too many that we're probably not going to be able to like share every week, but just keep an eye out. I'm sure like every time you log into the application, you will see small improvements here and there. And the biggest one, probably we just launched a new navigation. We know like how big a difference is just having a side navigation versus the top navigation. I'm sure a lot of you like working with clients, like this is kind of the defining kind of character. Sorry, not speaking very well. Defining kind of like feature of a web app versus the website, and we just shipped it. And we're like, I'm just so glad how like good our application looking right now versus maybe 1 year and 2 years ago. We also shipped tab and column containers. Now your application is not just one block stuck on top of each other. You can put together a dashboard. You can put together a very professional looking tab layout for like on your details page as well. And then another big one, I think like not many people like pay attention to this aspect of application building. I guess like when you talk about no code, a lot of people don't really like mention this as the first thing is user management. This is such a big thing, in my opinion, because at the end of the day, you need to provide your user like secure and very a smooth user experience and how they access the data. And we've just made it a lot easier. For you don't need to understand like security. You don't need to understand what's the common pattern for someone signing Google, and what if they need a one-time password. We take care of all that for you. You just need to make a few top-level decisions. And in the coming, I would say probably a quarter or two, we will add a lot more features on top of this as well. For example, we'll have a way for you to set up like a new user setup flow. So the first time they log in, you can ask them to fill out some profile information before they can access the application, for example. And we will likely also add other two-factor authentication method. Right now you have a one-time password, you have SSO, you have Google, but we will be adding a few extra that we've been hearing as well. And of course, we also add a lot more templates. Hopefully they act as very good starting points for you to build out your new applications. That's it. But we are going to share a little bit more about what's coming in the product. So so that's just a quick recap for 2024.
Thank you, Austin. Can you hear me? Yeah. So I also want to do a quick recap about the customers and partners. So this year has been especially big one for expanding our reach to much broader range of customers, much bigger and more serious customer use cases and in applications within their organization. So this year we became SOC 2 Type 2 compliant, which was kind of one of the baselines for us to be able to really serve well all of these mid to bigger size companies, and especially because we're very heavily we care about the security heavily, and this is really at the foundation of everything we're doing. So especially also with all of the new coming functionalities, which Artur will share, this is at the core of everything we do. So that also obviously helped us with increasing our reach to much more broader and more serious type companies. And Softr is now leveraged by global innovators like Google, Make, Clay, Hulk, and MIT, and many others, and also as well as thousands of SMBs around the world who are building mission-critical workflows really quickly for their clients, for their internal processes and operations, from client partner portals to internal tools, dashboards, CRMs, and more. So here are some example customers where I'll not go into details for each, but all of these people are non-technical people. Some of them have had previously no processes in place, have been looking for solutions for ages, and they have found Softr to be really the best platform for them to leverage to build the tooling. Some of the customers have been having custom built solutions in-house, and they have not been able to maintain and continue iterating on that. Now Softr allows them to really quickly and really fast iterate, implement new ideas and new suggestions and requirements from clients or from their employees. And this just helps them move really fast and also offer amazing experience to the application users. One other big initiative we have undertaken in 2024 was revamping our expert program. So we relaunched Expert Program 2.0, which included lots of new things, one of which being new matching algorithm and coupled also with certification program that Gigi will share a bit more about. Now we have more than 100 certified experts on our platforms. So a lot of the customers are able to leverage those that don't have necessarily the time and they don't want to build the tooling themselves. They are able to work with the certified experts who are building for clients every day and get their apps up and running very fast. So about 750 clients have already reached out to experts in 2024 to work with them on different projects, and overall more than 1 million of software creation has been entered into our ecosystem. So this is also a testament of our experts and agencies that we work with, how big of a partners they are for us, and they are very, very important part of our community and our overall ecosystem. And also towards about our support as well. So Softr, even though we don't talk really that much about this, but one big area of Softr as well that really stands out and is one of the reasons that people are successful building with Softr is our customer support. We have live customer support available in almost 24 hours in all time zones, and the response time is about 37 seconds. I'm sure you have never heard this type of response time or seen in other SaaS platforms. This is not very usual, and I think we don't talk much about that, how much Softr stands out with this kind of support, helping customers to be successful. And the satisfaction has been 95+% so far for us. And yeah, I'm going to hand over to JG to talk a bit more about community and education aspect and share what kinds of initiatives we have done over the past.
Mariam, can I just also add one small thing for the support?
Yeah, go ahead,
I'm sure everyone here, if you talk to support and they say they'll pass some feedback to product team. I know a lot of companies, they kind of just say that, but I can guarantee you, I can show you our Slack, our support teams are sharing every single feedback that they're getting. And we are, all of your voices are heard, and we're always trying to be on top, respond really fast. And so, yeah, you can rest assured that all your feedback, all your questions are passed to us.
A lot of those as well get resolved immediately within the day.
Yeah.
So I think that's also very important to mention and highlight how fast our engineering team is moving.
Awesome. Thank you so much, guys. We have a fantastic team overall. And one of the great things about being a smaller team is we all work together so well, but it really comes from our community, you guys giving us so much feedback of how we can improve, how we can be better. And that starts on our community forum. It's a really big part of Softr, getting your feedback, implementing your notes. And our community forum is doing fantastic. We would love to invite you guys to be there a little bit more, but with over 50,000 monthly views, it's very active. I want to give a special shout out to Mark. He's one of the most active members and was the most active member this past year. He's there all the time, helping, contributing, it goes a long way. A lot of people go to our forum to learn for the first time, to get help, to create that community. Learning a new thing can be hard, but when you go to the forum and you find other people that are willing to help you, it's really impactful. So if you have an extra minute, feel free to stop by our forum, lend a hand, ask a question. It goes a long way. Another thing that I wanted to shout out on our forum is the topic, unofficial tabs. As you could see, a lot of hype went into this thread, so much so that we made it an official block, right? And so things like this really give us a good indicator of, like, if there's a lot of engagement there, if there's a lot of excitement there, we're paying attention, we're listening, and the community forum is a fantastic place for that. Next up, this was our first time doing our community awards, and we announced these a couple months ago, but these people really made a huge impact in our community, and I just wanted to announce them once again during this presentation. There's so many of you that really help us make this community special. These people have risen above in many different ways. You've seen a lot of these people around, but generally, thank you so much for everything that you guys do to make our community special. Education continues to be a really big thing for us at Softr. We're continuing to invest heavily in it. And this last year, we launched the updated Academy 2.0, where you can find over 100 different videos of how to get started with Softr. And it's all searchable. So if you need to learn about the REST API or whatever, you can go to the Academy, use the list block there to search everything. But we also have courses there. And of course, the Academy is built in Softr. We have an Academy there showing you a 3-hour how to get started with building a client portal course that is step-by-step. And then we just released a Getting Started with Softr series as well, where you can learn how to get started with Softr in 60 minutes or less. Please let us know what other topics we can create courses about. Let us know how else you would like to learn. We're exploring potentially doing a live bootcamp situation. We're exploring how we can get more education into the hands of new users and professional business users that want to learn more and take Softr further. We also launched our certification in June of 2024, and we now have over 300 people that are certified with Softr at the professional level. And if you've taken this certification, you know it's pretty hard. We judge you or test you on a lot of different things, not just Softr, but databases, automations. We want to make sure that if you are getting certified in Softr, that you could go to clients or anything in the field and say, hey, I am a professional here, and we stand by that. And so really proud of the 325 plus people that have been certified with Softr at the professional level. Again, it's a free certification. You can go over to our Academy and take this certification, put it on your LinkedIn page, shout it from the rooftops, let everyone know that you are professional with Softr. And then this year in 2025, we'll also be launching a beginner certification as well for those that want to get their toes in the water and show people that you know how to build with Softr too. We went to a lot of events and conferences this year. It's always great seeing you all there. Here are some snapshots of us at No Code Summit, at the Make event, and in other different little no code events that we've gone to throughout the year. Again, seeing you guys, interacting with you, getting your feedback is really important for us, and we love attending these events. If there's an event that you think we should be at, let us know. If there's an event that you think we could help with, let us know. We will do whatever we can to help spread the word of Softr, help educate more people, and create that community for us all. Finally, I want to hand it back over to Artur and Miriam.
Thank you, JJ. So we're back today. Probably one of the most interesting parts of this presentation. I'm sure everyone wants to know what's coming in 2025. So yeah, let's get into it. So in 2025 is going to be a very, very big year for Softr, 10x bigger than what we have had before. And this is a goal we literally have set for ourselves. Softr will redefine its platform, and in the no-code space will have its major next leap, which is becoming a full stack platform. And I want to also explain in 2 words why is this the case, why we want to aim for this. So like I mentioned in the very beginning, big portion of the market and big portion of our learnings over the past year has been that lots of companies still live in spreadsheets and manual workflows. And a lot of them are completely new to no code. They don't even know that they can actually achieve so much with no code. They can build their own tooling. So most of the time, what that means is people come to our platform. They don't have a database, structured data. They don't even know how to structure things correctly. So then let alone build application on top of that. So what this means is we have a huge opportunity ahead of us as a platform to let people build things easier, faster, and create lots of things for them out of the box. Because if they don't have the database, once we have a database on our own, we are able to create and help them from the get-go to build their application much faster and easier, and workflows as well. So having workflows and databases, which is a big part of becoming full stack, is also a demand for simplicity and unified experiences, because right now, most of those customers, either we have to rely that they know these existing platforms, they already use them, or it's extremely difficult and hard for them to start learning something new just to get a client portal out the door. And also, of course, integration challenges. We always heavily rely on external tools and databases or workflow platforms. And there is always integration challenges, whether slowness or errors happening in between, and we as a platform obviously have no control of that. So we really want to solve this as by offering one unified platform, so customers can create their own tools and by using our databases, using our workflow tools, and to build, automate, and manage their entire data all inside Softr's workspace, Softr's ecosystem. So that is one of the goals. The other two goals are similar to what we had also. We always continuously have been aiming for in the past years, which is one is a fuse. We are, I think Softr is very much considered in the no-code community as one of the easiest, and this is not all. We are continuously making this easier, faster to build, and more intuitive. So that's still one of the bigger goals. And then power on top of that as well. So there's always more and more complex applications you can allow users to build. The challenge is how do customers build more complex things without how do you turn the platform more powerful without really making it too complex? This is the bigger challenge of building such platform, and we're very mindful of how we build it, how we implement the product functionalities. But this is a huge undertaking, and this is something we're aiming for as well. So power is going to include many things, including new data sources, including new functionalities, a lot more complex functionalities, including also coupled within the workflows and databases. So yeah, these three are our core goals for next year. And I'll hand over now to Artur to share a bit more details of what each means.
Thanks, Mariam. I hope you guys can hear me well. As Mariam mentioned, going full stack and powerful also means like introducing tables. So our tables will be on par with like market leaders that provide table functionality as well. Some of the capabilities that we will have almost from the get-go will be linking and lookup. Those are the ones that you are typically very used when working with Airtable or SmartSuite or similar ones. We will have a roll-up functionalities, formulas, as well as AI capabilities. One thing that we will do a bit differently when it comes to AI, we will allow you to bring your own API keys as well, so you can be a bit more flexible on how much you run and spend, etc. So you have a full control there. We also will have a great performance out of the box. So that means like, you will not hit similar issues that you hit today with Airtable. I think many of you reach out to our customer supports like it's slow, whatever, like, number of API requests are limited, end of the month you're out, you have to upgrade, etc. So we are not thinking in that terms. We think to provide you good enough, scalable enough, and performant enough tables. And we will not limit in many fronts that you have been seeing in Airtable. So we will also be thinking of, giving you options to import your data from other systems, like if you're using like Google Sheet or Airtable already. So we'll be working hard to provide direct importers, so you can just plug into your existing Airtable and then, get your data into here. Again, very important for us to not deal with many of the challenges that we are dealing today with Airtable or similar ones, like API requests taking like 20 seconds, and so on. Those are not acceptable as an API first platform. So, and we want to change that, and this is a step towards like making apps faster and enabling you to have a better database solution for your applications. The launch date for the close beta we're anticipating early April. So we'll invite many of you to play around, give us a feedback, and then we'll open up for for beta release, open beta, and take it from there. Yeah, the next one will be workflows. Part of, again, going full stack is workflows, and workflows will be, again, very powerful, and on par with market leaders that we already use, like Zapier, Make, and so on. We always try to like stay user friendly, so we'll not go as complex as N8N or Make. However, we will be as powerful as possible. And we'll be having multiple types of actions, triggers. We'll have loops and branches, even nested loops. So those will be those will give you a lot of functionalities and a lot of power to deal with. We will also have UI actions. So this will be different from what you have experienced in Zapier and Make. And many times when you submit something from the app, you might intentionally want to have wait or navigate, etc. Those type of actions, which could be part of your workflows. And obviously also AI actions and agents that will be part of the workflows. Nowadays, AI is everywhere, and we'll talk about that a bit as well. So the workflows launch is anticipated like end of May, early June. Again, we'll start with closed beta, we will test it, and then eventually we'll open up for the public beta as well. So as we are adding those bigger functionalities, and as you know, those are actually, used to be almost like a unicorn companies. Every product is a unicorn on its own. And with small team of like 40, 45 people, we are delivering on all those. It's a great year, big year, and we are committed in achieving all those great results. We are not like leaving everything else behind, right? So on the side, we're also working on like improving applications and many things around applications, like theming functionality, like enabling you easier way to style your applications and style it more with industry standard ways of like you decide on a couple of colors and the entire application is changed and looks very professional. We will be improving toolbars on our blogs, on top of blogs. We will be adding a lot of more field types formatting. We will enhance existing blogs and we'll add new blogs as well, like Kanban, inbox, timeline. Those are the types of blogs, as well as some of the static blogs, like we'll need to revamp and do a newer version. So those are all planned throughout the year. We're also thinking of comments and chat functionalities that many of your use cases might have. So it becomes like a little bit more collaborative applications that you're building. Performance, many of you have struggled also performance. Like we will continue supporting all those data sources. So we are not kind of going away from Airtable. We'll continue supporting it. However, we are moving on from a real-time access to Airtable, rather having it like in a sync mode. So we'll be trying to sync as much as possible with Airtable in the background, so that when your page is opened by hundreds of people, we are actually deciding and using our own synced version versus directly hitting Airtable. Because again, Airtable API is not designed for this type of use. So the API is returning like very slow and people can't wait there forever. We'll try background sync processes. This is something we're already testing, and it will free you from slowness, from API limits, etc. So the performance is still a key thing. Even though we are adding our own tables, we will be adding a lot more data sources, and we will be working on this, like we call it synchronizer, on our synchronizer product, which is technical product, to make sure that the performance is like really on par with the industry expectations. And we will add more data sources. So some of the data sources that we hear a lot of people asking for is ClickUp, and we hear about Zoho CRM and a lot more other data sources that we have on the agenda. So we will be improving a lot the applications as well. And the last topic is AI in software, right? So I hope some of you recall, but we have been always in the front, and we have been probably one of the first tools that introduced AI in here and there. Like we first started with having AI blogs and then AI functionalities to generate images and copy for your applications and so on. Then we launched our AI application builder as a quick prototype in a way to get started with those. However, AI will be like an electricity. So every app, everything will be AI based going forward. So we can't just kind of watch from the side how it goes. Software will be adding a lot more AI functionalities. Some of the things we feel like, some of the areas we think to invest when it comes to AI is software apps, right? So you build an app and then those apps are used by users, a lot of users within companies and so on. We want to enable them to be able to talk to the data. So instead of having like pre-built blogs, charts, and all the tables and so on, those will be there obviously as well. But like, chat GPT like interface where you can go and like ask questions like, when was the last time this person took vacation, or how is the timeline of my team looking like next month, and so on, like asking those types of direct questions, talking to data and getting those data. Or you as an end user of an app, like have defining your personal agents within the app, sort of saying, okay, I'm using this app every day, and what if every morning 9 a.m. I instruct the application via an agent that lives in an application to send you like messages to inform you about things or perform actions on your behalf. So those are the ways that we think about enhancing apps for the end users to have those functionalities. Within Softr tables, obviously, there will be AI fields, and also similarly could be AI agents living within your data set that could, again, perform actions on your behalf as you instruct them. And workflows obviously cannot live without AI as well. So a lot of AI actions, a lot of models will be at your disposal to use, as well as agentic like workflows where you define more abstract functionalities, and agents are using capabilities to achieve that. And last but not least, when building product like applications as a builder, you will need like copilots, and you will have copilot functionalities where you can ask for some help, for some instructions, and some build steps could be delegated to an AI as well. And we are also thinking to experiment here and there with natural language definitions, like instead of defining all the conditional filters and so on like manually, you could also go there and say, filter by this, and then the filter is generated for you automatically. So those are the big areas that we will be focusing on during 2025. It is big, it's very big and very ambitious for a team of 45, but we are very committed to make all this possible for you.
Thanks, Artur. Yeah, so just to reiterate on that again, it's going to be a very big year. If so far we have grown so much and we have already reached the product point, the product we brought it where it is. So this year is definitely going to be 10x faster, 10x better, and much bigger. So we can move on to the next, basically last stage of this event, where we would love to open up the stage for everyone to ask questions. If you have anything about any of our areas, different parts of the product or community or overall company, we're all happy to answer. So we have also some of the other team members here, Shiran from marketing and Geda from product. Yeah, very much opening up the stage for questions. JJ, anything you?
Yeah, I've already tagged some, so let me bring them live here. The first one we have is, are there any plans for HIPAA compliance? Artur, what do you think?
Yeah, maybe I can take on this. I think we are hearing about HIPAA from time to time. However, the volume of requests is not like that huge at the moment, so that we can take that step and go and get compliant around HIPAA. And I would suggest, like, if you guys have more use cases, please share, because that's going to help us just to prioritize, put that on top of the backlog and get it done. It is doable. It's just we need to kind of see there's enough demand for us to go and do that.
Awesome. Thank you. Next question up is around inline editing. Inline editing would be a game changer for my product. Any idea when it would be launched?
It is in our work in progress backlog. So I don't want to like specify a very specific date, but like we are committed to do it in this quarter. There might be like plus minus a little bit in terms of a timeline, but know that it's work in progress. So we are working to enable that functionality for you.
Awesome. Next one we got is, will there be any advanced level education beyond the easy stuff? I will help with that. Right now, we still are focused on the easy stuff, trying to help people get started to build their first app for the first time. But one of those things where on the forum, if you're looking for advanced level stuff, I could put together live builds. I could put together live training sessions. Let me know on the forum what you're looking for, and we can make something happen. Next up here.
Maybe wanted to just add one more sentence. education is definitely a big portion of our efforts this year as well. So last year already was the beginning. We already launched. So JG tirelessly worked on 2 new courses, which is software for beginners and also client portal course. There is definitely going to be more this year. So look forward to it.
Cool. Next one is probably the best one for Artur. When will Softr deploy live updates for all of the data sources it connects to?
Yeah, so this is connected to those synchronizer project that I was doing, that I was mentioning. Like we are now experimenting with Smart Suite as a first pilot database for live updates. And the next one will be Notion, and we'll just keep adding. So I would expect like around May, June, like probably every data source will have a live updates available there.
Awesome. Next one we have up is regarding workflows. Zapier and other webhook and trigger automation systems would be a game changer. Would we have any kind of trigger automations within workflows? How would that kind of workflows be initiated, Artur?
Yeah, so workflows will be initiated with triggers, and there will be many types of triggers. So a lot of those triggers will be coming from your applications. If you decide, like clicking on a button might already start a workflow. You could have a webhook where you are actually calling that workflow from external system. There will be scheduled work like triggers, like every day, every hour, every minute, something to run, as well as workflows that listen to external systems. Like if you receive email or is some like data is changed in Airtable or something has changed in Stripe, like new subscription, new customer. So there will be a lot of different types of triggers that you are already used to see in a solid like workflow systems. We are working towards that. So we will have a lot of different types of triggers.
Awesome. Thank you for that. We have a couple more. And again, anyone put chats in, your questions in chat, and we'll try to get to it as soon as we can. Next one, how many records would be possible in Softr's new tables? A lot of people battle limits within Airtable. What can we do with Softr tables in the future?
Yeah, so there will be a lot of possibilities. However, we haven't yet clearly decided on which plan will have how many records. So this is something we'll be deciding. One thing that I was always kind of thinking about tables is like, I would think tables like use like up to 1 million or so, right? So on the highest plan. But if you really have more than 1 million, there are databases for that. And that's why we integrated with like Subabase, Zano, and, classic RDS and, other databases. So up to 1 million, I think is good for like a product like tables. If it's more than 1 million, I would always recommend to use like your own database where you could actually fine tune it as you wish.
Thank you for that. Maybe this one for product. Any plans for the Gantt chart block functionality? Where are we at with that product?
Yeah, so Gensha, like a timeline, like that's something previously a little harder because we some with like kind of daytime functionality, we don't have the infrastructure to handle very well. But I think with what we're doing on the data source side and our own table, we will likely be able to work on that. Also, along with things like Kanban, for example, I would say probably let's say Q3, for example. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you for that. We'll stay with product with this one and get to the next one, which is right here. Are there any plans for animations with blocks coming up, whether hero blocks or anything like that, backgrounds, divs?
So if we're talking about animation, as in kind of some loading animation or certain kind of like animation style, like if how your model is supposed to be open, I think we'll be offering some basic functionality, but we are not expecting to implement something like something you do in Webflow and Framer that like very advanced like kind of website style animation. I think there are a lot better tools for that. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. We have one around what's the roadmap for mobile and PWA. We have a lot of people asking for push notifications in the chat, offline capability. What might be our directions for PWAs in the future?
We have done a couple of improvements already with the new navigation when it comes to PVA, so it looks pretty solid and nice. Push notification has always been in our roadmap. However, we didn't get into it because at one point Apple was already like sort of killing it. Then they reverted their decision. So I think it's going to be something that we are reevaluating again. And I think part of workflows will be also like enabling push notification with your app, because we always a bit struggled, like if we allow that, how will you kind of use it within the app, because the actions are mostly like one-step actions. So we would still need to integrate with Zapier or Make so you could actually do it. But now with software workflows, it will be way easier for us to enable that push notification so you can use it directly with an app.
Sticking with you, Artur, on this one, for workflows, would users be able to run code within any of those action steps, like a Python code or a JavaScript code, maybe
Yeah.
some kind of transformer in that way?
Yeah, definitely. We have that already available, as we already implemented that for the REST API. If some of you used, we are allowing you to run a transformer function for the REST API. So similarly, there will be a code running block. You can do whatever you want there. Yeah.
Awesome. We have one here for collaborative projects. Do you plan to enhance the overall usage in Software Studios, where you can work it on more than one page with more than one user at the same time? Product, what do you guys think?
So this one is a bit trickier because so far based on see like two people working on the same page within an application, that itself is very tricky when we're not seeing so many use case. But over time we will be adding a little bit more collaboration feature as we see the demand, like something, for example, sometimes we hear people wanting to have some overview of, like, let's say certain data source usage by certain teammate within the workspace, or maybe a little bit more granular data source level of permission. Those are definitely under the radar. So not sure about, like, say, real time collaborating on the page just yet. Yeah.
Thank you, Austin. Another one for product. Will we have more design flexibility, custom icons in nav, more text size for the new blocks? Right now, I found them a bit difficult to integrate due to the design limitations than we saw with the previous old blocks. Yeah, where we are with new customization for new blocks and that progress.
Yeah, so custom icon is something you can already do in the new navigation. You just got to go to your settings, general, upload to version of your logo. Just so you can be whatever you like. So more text size, text alignment, those are things we will be introducing. I think on the contextual level, like for example, grid we're doing right now, we are working on improvement, allow you to align it, like center the content. And those will be more contextual decision. And text size is something that we currently web like 3, right? And we'll be offering more on the field level. You can decide to use anything from, we'll offer like hint text, or maybe something like a more like a footnote for you to add as well, and also for you to pair them up in different pages as well. Yeah, and then sometimes, and with like the inconsistent old block, that's something we definitely want to kind of get it over with. That's why we're trying to focus on getting on the new blocks out, and some of the improvement will be coming a little later. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you for that. How about adding chat to our applications? Do we have any plans to allow for internal chat blocks where users within a client portal can chat with each other that's different than the commenting blocks?
I think, Geda, you can take that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. Haven't chat. You guys hopefully hear me. Yes, it is something that we're exploring to add. I think one thing also maybe was not mentioned yet on this chat is that we're next block that will get an uplift is also the comments block. So first we're gonna be introducing much more nicer looking, but also adding additional functionality comments block that will allow different layouts, as well as at least email notification coming with that. And to follow that as well, we're exploring the chat functionality, primarily to focus on client portal and internal to the use cases. So being able to support group chats as well as one-on-one chats within applications. So it's definitely on our radar, but the first thing to expect is the new comments block, a refresh there.
Awesome. Why don't you stay on stage here, Geta? For this one, how do you apply to be a beta user of tables? I assume this is going to be private beta for tables and workflows. How might users that want to participate join in on that closed beta?
Yeah, so for all the private betas, we usually send out a notification in our community, Slack community, and the public community. So check out and keep an update there. We make sure if there's specific requests, you can also mention that to the support. Once we're going to be ready to open the beta, we'll definitely reach out and welcome any participants.
Awesome. Yeah. We'll be sure to let you know on our community forum there. Another reason to check our community forum on a regular basis. Any plans to integrate Google Calendar into the calendar block? Austin, product, general.
Google Calendar so far, no plan yet. But if you have any specific use case, definitely feel free to share on the community forum. We are going to still add more new data source this year. Some of the new ones that have come up is interestingly things like Google Drive or SharePoint or OneDrive. So yeah, definitely share. Maybe we can follow up on a more specific use case, and we can definitely consider it.
Yeah, and I think with workflows coming, things like this would be able to be done where, there's a new event in Google Calendar, and then that triggers the workflow to then create a new event in the database, which is then stored in Softr. So with workflows, it's really going to open up a lot for the product to just do so much more for the everyday builder and the professional builder as well. Awesome. We're closing up on questions here. Any last ones that I haven't seen that anyone wants to shout out here? There's a lot of questions. It's so great to see everyone here. Again, this is going to be a really big year for us. Even last year was a huge year. I mean, the amount that we grew, we started off with 2 data sources. Now we're up to 14. Now we're building our own workflows and more. It's a really exciting time to be building with Softr, and we really appreciate you all for building with us. So thank you for taking the time to come to the meeting today. Any last thoughts before we get out of here? Any last questions? Miriam, Artur, anything else? We will we will send a recording of this to anyone that RSVP'd. So that will be made available there. Anything else that we didn't answer now, feel free to leave it on the forum, reach out to us directly. We're building this product with you guys. Help us make this even greater in the next year. Thanks for all that you guys do for us.
Thanks for being
Thanks,
so
everyone.
amazing community.
Awesome.
Thanks everyone for joining. Yeah, and all of the interesting questions. There were some questions in the chat. I think we can also export and potentially the ones that are repeating also share answers in the community forum.
Yeah. I think one big one is migration, which we'll definitely share soon.
That's right. Awesome. All right. Well, thank you again for joining us. It was a wonderful time, and we will see you on the forum, in the studio, in the build, everywhere else. We'll see you around.